Hello, and welcome back to the French Galaxy. Today, we are going to be going over the imparfait. When the night goes down in the city, and the stars hang on the bay, do I wanna be there in my city? Oh, oh, oh. So, an example of imparfait being used to describe something, for example, would be like saying, I don't know, if you thought a cat was beautiful, you would say le chat était beau, or la chatte était belle, or something like that. Or if let's say the sky was blue, you would say le ciel était bleu, that sort of thing, right? But aside from that, I believe we can start to move on to the conjugation portion. So when it comes to the actual conjugation of imparfait, I'm going to do this in two groups. The first group we're going to talk about ER and then RE verbs, and then the third group we're going to talk about IR verbs, right? So when it comes to our, and the reason why I'm doing RE verbs and ER verbs together when it comes to the conjugation of imparfait is because they are conjugated the exact same way. So there's no reason to split it up, honestly. So I chose penser for our example for how to conjugate RE verb, ER verb, sorry. So essentially what we have to do is we're going to, of course, take our indicative, which is penser. After we take our indicative, we're going to chop off the R and the E the R and the E at the end, and then we're going to replace it with A, I, and S, right? And we're going to do the same thing again with two. They're going to be the same. It's going to be the same spelling. So it's going to be je pensais or tu pensais, for example, right? Moving on, of course, we got il, elle, and on. We're going to, of course, knock off the E and the R, and then we're going to replace it with AIT. Okay? So just a little review again. Je and tu are going to be AIS, and then il, elle, on is going to be AIT. Okay? From for new and for vous, for new, again, chopping off E and R, but this time we're going to do IONS. Okay? Same thing goes with vous. Instead of just doing EZ, we're going to do I EZ. So that's going to be pronounced nous pensions or vous pensiez, right? That sort of thing, right? So again, we're just adding that I plus our O and N and S. And then for vous, we're adding our I EZ. Okay? Now with ills and L's, we have penser. Again, just pronounce exactly like je, tu, il, elle, on. Pronounce all the same, right? Besides, of course, nous, vous. But for um, ills and L's, we're going to, again, knock off E and R, and we're going to add AI, E and T. There you go. And that is how you conjugate ER and RE verbs. Now, when it comes to conjugating IR verbs for the imparfait, if you recall, it looks a little similar to how it looked when we were conjugating the passé composé. But instead of it just being with nous and vous, it's going to be with all of them. So again, we're going to look at our indicative of agir, which is to act. So we're going to chop off our R, and then we're going to add SSAIS, right? Like how tu and je are similar. Again, the same here applies. They're both spelled exactly the same. So j'agissais, and of course tu agissais, right? Again, chopping off the R, adding SSAIS. You're going to do something similar with il, elle, on, but instead of it being an S at the end, it's going to be a T. So you're going to chop off the R, add an SSAIT this time. Right? For nous, it's going to be nous agissions, right? So we're going to, again, chop off the R, add an SSIONS. Okay? You cannot forget that I at the end, which I know it might look just completely normal, just with the, if you just AGISSONS, but it's not correct. It's not right. Okay? So, again, you're going to have that I before ONS. I before ONS. Just like with RE and ER, you have to have that I before ONS. Same thing goes with EZ. You have to have the I before EZ, just as like you have to have the I before ONS. Very extremely important. Okay, because you go from pronouncing it like vous agissez to vous agissiez. Okay, very very big difference. Okay. For ills and els, again, it's just going to be pronounced just like these first ones. So it's just is as or like il agisse. There you go. And that's how you conjugate the imparfait for ir. So that is how you conjugate French verbs in imparfait. Make sure to tune into another episode of the French Galaxy, and I'll see you later.
Well, I got something to say. I killed your baby today, and it doesn't matter much to me as long as it's dead. Sweet lovely days, I am waiting for your